Welcome back to Watching the Throne on the Late Night Chat Network. All right, welcome back, everybody. Apologies if you do end up tuning in live and running a bit late here. It is my fault. Well, I'm running an IT services over here for
those IT
folks.
tech on the side, guys. So if anybody needs, hit me up, and I'll get you his information.
No, I didn't afford myself enough time. JT was coming over, had to set up for the extra person here as well. So I was kind of just running around last minute. So my apologies. But yeah, here we are again for another episode of Watching the Throne, episode 87. Wow, look at this. We're really moving up there on the numbers here, eh?
Me out every time. Eh?
And joining with me again today, we got our usual co-host here. We got Aegon, the ADHD, aka JT over here. What's going on?
That's it, bro.
And of course, we got the Red Queen returning, aka Christina. What's going on?
Not much. I'm so excited to get into this.
Good episode this week. Yeah,
I just can't wait to get into this.
I know. I was very much looking forward to this. Yeah. So this is it's a doozy of an episode, guys. It goes without being said. If you somehow stumble across this show, spoiler alert, because we are going to be talking about the big things that happened this episode. This is our Game of Thrones overview / now House of the Dragon overview show where we go episode by episode of the series and discuss it. And we've been doing these episodes live. So if you do happen to tune in for one of these episodes, guys, and you do want to join us in the chat, let us know what you thought about the episode, join in on the conversation. Feel free. I know we've thrown off some people because I feel like they are used to these shows not being live, but we decided with the new season actually out this time, because we were doing all old television before when we did all the last episodes. Let's join in week to week and actually discuss these in real time here, right? A few days after with our actual reactions, all seeing it for the first time. So it's been a lot of fun. So I really look forward to the conversation here today. And with that being said, let's start off with the make sure you like and subscribe, of course. But with that being said, let's take a look at the episode name here. This is the Red Dragon and the Gold, House of the Dragon, season 2, episode 4. Let's start off with Christina. Christina, what'd you think of this? Overall thoughts?
I don't know why I wasn't expecting something like major to happen. I don't know. Like, I was just watching it just like I do every week, like watching it. And then out of nowhere, it was like, oh man, like what is happening? Like I was so mind blown. And that last like 10, 15 minutes, I rewatched it like that last 15 minutes, like 3 times, like back to back. Like I was like, fantastic. Sad, but fantastic.
Yeah. How about you, Jay?
Well, it was great, man. It was very exciting. But, it was kind of slow to the beginning. And then it was like, I was losing focus for a second here and there, but I was trying to stay focused and make sure I, pay attention to everything. But yeah, at the end, it just had me glued to the screen, right? So there's quite a few things that happened in this, that I found interesting. So
I know you're chomping at the bit to get to a specific part, which we'll go over. I know there's something you specifically like talking about every episode. So yeah, you did have another moment here. Hey, listen, you're getting a lot of moments. There's a lot of tree moments in this episode, guys.
I knew it.
I'm gonna start hugging my trees, bro. I think I'm gonna go start hugging my trees.
That's the only thing this guy texted me about, Christina, after he actually watched it. He none of the other things, because he's like, I'm saving that for the show. He's like, I'm telling you, bro, the trees. I'm just like, shut the hell up about these trees already.
Yeah, and then I started sending him the gifts and stuff like that. I was having a good time with it, man. I can't find one of the tree though. That's the problem. I keep trying.
Listen, you're the only one bringing things up that actually are being mentioned on the show out of all.
So, I know, it's so true.
Hey,
every honestly, time I didn't know you were going to become the main demographic of House of the Dragon fans, but apparently you are. Like whatever you say, the theories start getting thrown all over the place next week. It's funny.
We'll never know. We'll see what happens, man.
Maybe he's our 3-eyed raven.
That's what I'm starting to think. Like maybe this isn't a scar over here. Maybe this is my
It's
eye.
your third
going,
eye.
man.
Third
Yeah.
eye.
I thought I already had one of those, but yeah. Well, I'm not JT. I'm just an owl.
Oh God.
Oh man.
Come on, guys. We're gonna have a good time today.
Sorry. Oh yeah, of course.
I couldn't even get all the writing in. I've been watching it, but I think you took me. Did you lose me?
No, you're good.
Okay.
How many times did you watch it, Jay?
I don't remember now. I've been watching it. I've been home for a couple of days. Trust me, I've had a lot of time to watch TV.
So I know that both of you, I was really good about it though. The next day, both of you had still not seen it. You didn't see it Sunday
know.
night. I actually did for once watch it
Well, I
Sunday
had
night.
some issues,
So
but
then
yeah.
the next day, I kind of sent you both like surprised emojis, and both of you were like, "Oh, actually, I think I sent to you that
Yeah,
evening. I
said,
sent you it.
"Shush."
Yeah, that the Sunday night I sent it to you, and then the next day I sent it to Christina, and both of you were just like, "I haven't seen it yet." So then I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
don't worry. I'm just saying it's a big one."
Couldn't
So
believe I
avoid
was
the-
that person.
avoid the internet. No, but I was just like, try to stay off the internet. Don't look into things too much, because I was just trying to give you guys a heads up. Like, it's a big one, right? So, which
Yeah.
normally means deaths in the show, which did occur here. So,
Yeah, I wasn't thinking. I was even like when I was there, when I was busy that day on the Sunday. I was mentioning, I was just gonna sit here and watch the House of the Dragons and chill out. And I was hoping that they were kind of going to give me a sort of a little hint of maybe what happened, but nobody said anything. And in the place where I was, and I can tell you guys later offline. But I'll tell you, it was funny because Nico, first thing he says, "Hey, stay away from the water cooler."
yeah.
So
Yeah, so my overall thoughts are just in line with yours and most fans of this show. This is probably I would probably go as far as saying this is probably the best episode of the season so far.
that's halfway through, right? So
yeah, this is what I'm saying. The first time around, I felt the first half was quite boring, probably by design, because it all led into a very interesting and exciting second half. But then when I rewatched it, because I've watched this twice now, I actually appreciated what came before the second half of the episode a lot more rewatching it as well, because there was a lot of good moments there too, but obviously not as much as that second half, because it's some big things.
I think they
happen,
needed
right?
to save that kind of stuff. They need to save it for specific episodes where they need the money, the extra budget. There is certain episodes that cost a little more to make.
Sure.
All right, and they're gonna have to play with them both. They're doing a good job of it, and if that's how they're gonna split it up, even the time jumps, I'm loving it because they're not like outrageous, but I think they're still there, and you notice, but they're getting a little annoying because you're starting to wonder, why did it take them that quick this time? But there's
No, it's not as jarring as Game of Thrones was.
But I still wonder, because Game of Thrones, they made you almost believe it took forever. Like, you know what I mean?
I wouldn't even say there's any crazy time jumps this season.
No,
There
it's
is,
like maybe
but
days.
right? Yeah, it's to get to places.
Which they even kind of think did a good job of in this episode, because there's a whole moment at the start where Rhaenyra isn't actually present because she was traveling back from being with Alicent, which where we saw what Alicent was up to, but obviously Rhaenyra wasn't there because she was traveling back, and then she actually explains where she was later in the episode. So I think they're actually
far from each other too. Like,
but that's what I mean. At least they're taking that into account and they're referencing it as opposed
And
to
even Alicent mentioned, she's like, it's been a couple weeks since my Lord husband was here.
Right.
Like, so you know that it's like, even though it seems like it's been a long time, it really has been maybe 2 or 3 weeks. Like, all of this is happening so fast. It's not like it's just, a year ago. It's only been a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening for some.
Well, they're at war, man. They're at war, and it's like in the heat of it.
There was a big time jump when like they had to go from the first season to this season because the changes of the people and stuff like that, the ages and stuff.
Yeah,
man. It's been a while anyway, so they can't drag it on for us that long, right?
Right.
So they've already dragged it.
No, there wasn't a big time jump from season 1 to this one. There was 2 weeks. Or a week.
No. Oh yeah, but for the sorry, they've already used that time jump with the age, like with the because now they use that different actor. Right?
There was the most significant time jumps in the first season. This one hasn't been like Christina just mentioned. I was going to mention that too about it just being a couple weeks since the death of Valeris, right?
Yeah,
Valeris. These names get tongue tied after you say so many of them. So we'll get into it here, but would before we do though, would you say that this is probably the best episode this season though, or with the first one? What do you guys think?
I like this one better.
This one was
exciting.
yeah, definitely more exciting, but like I think it's a close
Right.
the first episode I think was like a close
Yeah.
second,
I agree.
you know?
I
Like
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, if you had to put them in order, for sure, I would say it would go that way.
I saw some statistic online. I don't know, from a post of something. Maybe it was like a fan account. I don't know if it's the case or not, but they said there's like one of those websites where people like rate the episodes or whatever. This is like 5th now in comparison to all episodes, comparing to Game of Thrones as well.
Oh wow!
They had
including Game of Thrones.
Like Godzilla eats your heart out.
I thought that I had read that. I think it was 5th, they said, amongst like the best rated episodes. And I think in that same list was like the Red Wedding one, which is called something else. Reigns of Castamere. Is that one?
Yeah.
The Battle of the Bastards. They had this up there. It didn't beat any of Game of Thrones, but I think it was like 5th or 6th or something out of all time ratings for the shows, according to fans, I guess, on some website. That's what some fan account had said. So that might change.
It's amazing. It's amazing how like 15 minutes of a 1 hour episode can like just skyrocket it like up a chart.
Sure.
You know, like, you know, because think about it, like the Battle of the Bastards episode, that battle was at least like 20 minutes, half an hour. Like it was like the whole episode pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, so that would make sense, you know, but I don't know. It's crazy how
when you use a lot of CGI for a scene and stuff like that, like stuff. This is stuff you wouldn't see 20 years ago on Game of Thrones either.
Oh, it's like,
right?
I mean, we say it every episode how great of looking of a show it is, but it's not only that. I think you got to think of it from this perspective too, because I found this interesting when I actually saw somebody. I don't know if it was a comment or a post or just like I saw something about it. It kind of brought it to mind. This is only the 14th episode of this show. Right. So like if you think of that in perspective of like the Game of Thrones show where like big things happen, but we had like 8 seasons of it. This is, you know what I mean? Like we've only had 14 episodes of this show. So like I think that's kind of why we're never going to get to the point where I think these characters are going to be as beloved as the Game of Thrones characters. But if you think of it in the sense that there hasn't been that many episodes of this and we're getting big things happening, you know, along the way, like that's pretty exciting if you look at it that way. Because I think a lot of people think this is not as like a fast paced or exciting show, but when it leads up to significant things that happen twice in this season, let's say, if you look at the first episode and you look at this episode, that's pretty good. Like it's not like we had to wait like a whole season, because the Game of Thrones sometimes like you go 8 episodes in of a season and then you would get something crazy that would happen, right? So not to say that like smaller things like weren't as big or great, but or like interesting, but just like those big episodes, those big moments, or the deaths, let's say, like you didn't really get those as much as you think in Game of Thrones. There was a lot of character building, but that's because they had 3 times the amount of characters in that show that they do in this show, right? So you have to kind of make things happen a little bit different in this one, if you look at it that way. So
that's so true, and it works great because you know what, this one might not be as 20, you know, like it might not be 10 seasons. You know, this one it might not be something like Game of Thrones where it goes on that long, right? So you're not going to get.
It's not going to. No, they don't have enough.
Get that love for the characters or that hate.
It's only pretty much like one book, like, so it's compared to like the 5 or 6 or 7 books that like Game of Thrones is apparently based off of. Like this is only based off one book.
Yeah.
Plus you're getting this is the halfway mark. This episode officially halfway through the season now we're at, because there's only 8 episodes this season. So yeah, that's the other thing, right? So you know that there's going to be probably another 1 or 2 episodes where big things are going to happen probably towards the end of this season, maybe even next episode. I know there was some talk about maybe next episode even had some interesting things happening, right? So
yeah.
Look that far into that talk.
Well, that's what Christina was saying earlier in these episodes where we've been talking, right? But anyways, okay, let's get into it then with the events of this episode. We'll go through here, and feel free to jump in because I just kind of free wrote this stuff because obviously there's not as detailed synopsises online for these yet. So, okay. So the episode opens up with Daemon still in Harrenhal. He's walking into what looks like the throne room in King's Landing, essentially. And he's hearing whispers and talk that he can't hear. He's kind of, well, again, it's the spirits talking, right? So we learn and you know, and he says he can't hear. And then all of a sudden the younger version of Rhaenyra is present again. Basically, she says to him, you know, now he can hear when he says like speak up or whatever. She says, you created me, yet now you are set to destroy me because your brother loved me more than he ever did you. And then to which his response is that he cuts her head off with his sword.
That was a swift slice, dude. That was awesome.
And then basically he says, this is what you've always wanted, essentially, as she lays there with her head talking to him on the floor, right?
You could have that cool stuff before, man. That's what I'm saying. This is the kind of excitement already that they started off they just started the episode off with the first fucking season.
So, Christina, because I'm interested to hear what you have to say about this, because I know there was some funny memes going around that you shared with me about this. How do you feel about the fact that they've kind of like moved Damon off to the side with this whole like him getting haunted like Ebenezer Scrooge in this castle, essentially? Like, what do you think of this? Like, I kind of am upset that he's not in the mix a little bit more. Like, I get it, but like
he's not going to be a big part of it. He's going to be a big part,
I think. Of course, but this is all building to something interesting. But like this whole idea of him being haunted for 2 episodes. What do you think of this, awesome. Christina?
I'm a little bored, to be honest. Like I'm like, what are you doing there? Like, you've taken control of it. What?
You got to find out the history of Harrenhal. That's what's happening here. That's what he's learning. Can you keep going? Sorry, I hated to interrupt.
I don't know. Like, it just like
ADHD, right? So
because we only have like 8 episodes of this season, like you're spending so much time like walking this haunted castle for what? Like losing your mind for what? Like you're such a big player in this war. Like your wife needs you like to do some battle planning, or maybe not, because she's got a council full of like
badass.
No, her council.
Her son is getting. Come on, her son is growing up, man. He's getting some.
Jace has high blood pressure for sure. I saw a meme where it's like, this guy has high blood pressure because he's always like this. Like, he's always like pissed. Like he always has this look on his face, like he's about to burst, like
his diarrhea.
But I don't know. I don't know. I'm a little like, okay, like we get it. You're being haunted. Yeah, this is a haunted castle. Great. Now move on. Like, what's next?
Yeah, I'm with you. No, and you enjoy. No, I listen. I think it's gonna lead to something theory. You like.
I love that plays with theories with people that way, because you got a lot of things going on over here. You got a lot of things going on over here.
It just seems such a slow storyline, like compared to everything else that's happening. Like it's just really slow.
Or if you're gonna do it for like half an episode, like they did last time, and like leave it at that. The fact that he's still in the same place getting haunted by this, you're right. I will say like it's cool that you're learning about the history of the castle and the people there and all that kind of stuff. And I'm sure it'll lead somewhere interesting. But I'm with her, as I've stated. I've stated before. I hate dream sequences. I hate that kind of stuff in episodes. I hate like flashbacks to a certain degree. I just like this is a waste
of Bran like all over again.
Yeah, like 2 of the 8 episodes, she's right. Like we're seeing this guy. Yeah, I guess he's going crazy in the castle, but like that's a waste of such a great character. Like, and I know that his non-involvement in this episode is key for what happened. Like for it to go down the way it did, like that's what I mean. Like, so it's all for a reason. Yeah. I just don't necessarily like it. Like that's what I mean. I think it's kind of stupid. This whole like like what is this? Like the Ghost of Christmas Past or like haunting?
You're like in Big Boo's castle, like in Mario Kart. Like.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
Younger kids. I don't know these days. Maybe it's just maybe I don't have.
Oh yeah, it's a generational thing.
Maybe
yeah,
I don't have such a short attention span as I thought. Maybe I should take the ADHD off, man. Maybe I do know. But at the end of the day,
that's cool. You like it?
I think I love dream sequences because I don't dream.
Fucking hate it.
I don't dream. I can't remember a dream that I've ever had. I mean, not to say
don't dream.
I've never.
No, I'm actually the same way. I don't.
Daydream.
We do, but you just don't remember it.
Yeah, maybe a daydream when I, like I'm up. And I go to sleep for that quick hour. Yeah, but no, I don't. I don't remember a dream I've ever had. Honestly, it's so fucking weird, and I kind of hate it that I don't get to. I want to fucking live an exciting life in my head. Fuck, I don't give a shit if it's in real fucking life.
But, I don't know. Just catch 22 because I live in my head a lot, and it's like not always a great place to be.
Who do you think I am? Come on,
I know.
What do you think? I got an office working up there, man. I told you.
So
Flipping files and everything. Man.
Damon getting haunted, yay or nay? There you go. All right.
Nay.
Yeah, I agree with you.
It was nice to see young Rhaenyra again, though. Like, yes. I like that they're bringing her back. Emma Darcy.
It's always fun to see her.
No,
her actress is called something else. Yeah, I forgot her name. That actress. But then they say, Then he wakes up to basically saying like, then she says there's being a raven, and then he basically gets awoken to news about Aegon's army heading towards them. Oh, and he's got blood on his hands too.
That was the thing.
yeah.
It was there in the one scene when
He
was
transferred something from the dream into
real life.
reality. Yeah, it
was
seemed
weird
like. Yeah,
because it was on his hand when he looked at it, but then when they opened the window and everything, it was gone.
Right.
It was gone. Yeah. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like King Lear. Like, I don't know if you guys read King Lear in like high school, but he, was it him or was his wife? Anyways, I think it was in like, I think it was his wife or the queen. She murdered somebody and she kept going to wash her hands because she felt like she had blood on her hands, but there was not just the guilt. Like, it's just the guilt.
Yeah, that's like the Edgar Allan Poe one where what's it called? The telltale heart, where it's like underneath the floorboards or whatever.
Oh, and you could hear the like.
Whatever it's called. Yeah, you know which one I'm talking about. The one where the Simpsons did an episode about it. I remember. She made the diorama of it or whatever.
Yeah,
she destroyed it or whatever. Yeah, or that she destroyed the other person's diorama. Yeah. So there's a heart that basically like he put it under the floorboards and they could hear the beating of their heart. Meanwhile, that's not actually what was going on, but it was the guilt getting to her, right? Essentially. Yeah. But anyway,
so cool. That like dream, it's like Freddy Krueger shit, man. It's like but that sort of dream sequence thing.
Now you're aging yourself.
I don't give a shit about that. That's serious, man.
So, yeah, so then he basically tells him that Aegon's now he's tripled his army in strength, and they're taking down people along the way, opposing them. And basically, that he's being warned right now that they're possibly heading towards Harrenhal now. So this is him getting news of this now, and he's trying to get an army over there for himself because he's at that base of operations and has taken over. And as we know, his to no success yet, right?
Cole's being a badass. I don't know what's going on with him. He's got a big boner.
We'll get to him.
I know you guys don't like him, but
you know what though, he is doing a good job. I'll give him that.
It's kind of weird.
He was doing not at the end of this episode, but he was doing a good job.
Yeah. We'll get to that part.
Then we cut to Oscar. Then he meets Oscar Tully, the grandson to Grover Tully, who's the heir to River Run. He meets with Daemon in his grandfather's place and in Harrenhal there, and he mentions that he's not well, as we previously learned last episode, and that's why he's there speaking for him. And Daemon asks him to suffocate him in his sleep with a pillow so he can speed it up because he needs an army and he doesn't have time to waste. To which Oscar Tully refuses and says, like, I quite like my grandfather. Yeah. So I'm not going to do that. And he's like, all right, then I have no use of you. Get out of here. And then, and the other guy kind of like nods his head, like, good for you. Like you saying no to him kind of thing. Right.
What was that line he used about because what did he call them? Why they fight amongst each other?
He understands why the Bracken and the Backwoods are at war, essentially. Yeah. If he's not able to listen to their lords, what does he say? Lord, air lords, or whatever he says.
Like a fish with no head, or whatever.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. It's kind of funny.
He says, like, how can you? No wonder you guys are at war when you basically
you don't have anyone governing you, like, because you're being run.
You can't follow orders, essentially, is what he's saying.
Yeah.
Gets into the head. That's why they don't want to.
So just I read this or something. So like the Tullys are apparently, when George R.R. Martin was creating this family, he's a huge Sesame Street fan. So that's why like the Tullys, they're all named after Sesame Street characters. There's Grover, there's Elmo, and then there's an Oscar.
I didn't catch that. I thought Grover was a weird name though, because you're right. That's like the only other time I feel like I've heard it. Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently, like that's when he just used that as a whatever reference or inspiration.
That's a good, cool little tidbit. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't actually even remember. He can't remember if it's if it's Bracket or not.
He's like, remind me again who swore allegiance to the Greens, and it's like, the Blackwoods.
Blackwoods, yeah. He's like, summon them for me then. I need an army. Yeah, bring them over.
Yeah, bring the Brackens over then.
No, that's the Blackwoods.
I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was the Brackens that he brings over.
The Brackens against the Black. There's one that Brackens are under. The other is
the Greens.
Yes.
This guy had declared green, right?
Oh, yeah. I thought, okay. See, I'm like, whatever.
that off.
Well, neither he can't remember either, so it's okay. That's the whole point of this.
Damon, yeah.
Yeah,
And
Damon.
this is what fucks up dream sequences.
Then
Gotta be
this
smart about it.
Then this
Read
next
between
scene,
the lines.
you got Rhaenys. She meets with Alan, and she discusses that she heard that he saved her husband's life, and alludes to the fact that his mother must have been beautiful. And basically, you learn here that she's aware that he is Corlys's bastard son. Which,
Who mentioned that?
Ina had mentioned that, yes, previous episodes.
Ooh.
Yeah, there you go. You
She
got that
really-
one.
Part and further into it. I think she
It
was-
wasn't even an intuition. It was just like apparently it was fact that I just like repeated on the show. So I don't even know why I'm acting like I just was like, I bet you.
Well, we didn't know it. We didn't know it. So there
we
you
knew
go.
he was going to be a bigger part. We kept saying, right?
Yeah.
Like, and then we knew it was. We kind of figured. We didn't know it was the bastard son until she would. I didn't know until when she did that. I kind of set. You know, if we're going to talk by formalities, it's princess, right? Because she only called my lady. He
Mhm.
only addressed her as my lady, right? At first.
Rude.
Yeah. How rude.
Then Rhaenys speaks to Corlys, and she asks him why he didn't tell her that he was the one that saved him, which, you know, he's kind of like, oh, I didn't feel like it was important. Yeah, okay. Right? Like, yeah. And she's like, you think I don't know who he is? Like kind of like you're not
Typical man.
acknowledging the fact that you know, that he's his bastard son. And she then tells him that Bela has called her to Dragonstone and that she's needed, and she kind of leaves kind of in a huff. She's a little upset at him. He's in the doghouse by the end of this conversation, it seems like, and which isn't great. I mean, you know, just because they don't really have much time together still this episode, so it's
Kind of sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you
Well,
think
they
of-
see
I didn't
each
even
other.
think of it that way.
He does come to her defense though. He later on this episode,
Yeah,
like,
but I mean-
there's this was not great. Yeah,
No.
I know it's kind of sucks, but yeah, you have to think of it that way. Come on, Jay.
Right. And you know what? I didn't. Fuck, man. That's a bad way to leave. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have anybody that I leave, so I don't fucking give a shit. Right. So I really don't care. So,
Well, the thought came through my head, anyways.
well, that's
right?
a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
But that's why you've been in a relationship for fucking ever.
Right.
So, you know, he's
Um,
smart. He is smart.
Sometimes.
No, he's smart.
Sometimes.
Don't listen to me. Don't listen to him. He underestimates himself.
Don't listen to him. All right. Next up, we have Allison. Is this the carving that Viserys did that she dropped?
Yeah, I was wondering the same thing.
That's the one that she mended. Remember, she took it and she fixed it.
Yeah.
It's the same dragon statue.
When she was like young Rhaenyra's age when she gave
Yes.
it to him. Yes, that's
Yes.
right. When he first lost his wife. Yes. Okay. I thought so. Okay. I wasn't sure though. And then she meets with the Grand Maester here, which gives her something in private as requested
The morning after.
and to be
Plan
delivered.
Plan B.
Yeah, that's what
I
that's
think that's C at that time. When she's feeling it like that, yeah, I think it's pretty much C.
is that what we're guessing what that is? Because Kristen
That's
Cole, I guess?
100%.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, where she's banging. Good.
100% what it was.
Or even I'm not even suggesting otherwise, because even when Lord Larys comes in later on, you can his little comment that he makes.
Well, she's the one that drinks it in this scene too, even
Yeah.
though she says it's for somebody else that's going to be delivered discreetly or whatever.
Remember, and they've done that before with another.
Yeah,
girl,
but usually
remember?
before
With that kitchen maid or that whatever maid that when Aegon was being
Oh, yeah.
himself
right
before he
That's-
was king.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
But then I just had to think for myself, like, is it because Kristen Cole like has been having sex with her lately? She's worried.
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure. I don't
They
even.
don't
Yeah,
have
of course.
contraception then. Yeah.
I
So
think
it's
she's
like,
actually got the symptoms. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's feeling
Okay.
because girls they know by a certain time. You know, they don't know that they're pregnant.
Well,
Oh.
it's only been 2 weeks, so like she wouldn't know if she was pregnant or not by now. But she's like just making sure that's how
Okay.
Plan B works. It just makes you,
know.
well, that's
You
that's
know?
why
I know.
I wanted to like I obviously they didn't say what it was, but what else could it have been, right? Okay, that's you guys thought the same. Okay. All right.
Mhm. I
Has
saw.
that-
Okay, speaking of.
Yeah.
It's like I saw a meme like just before I logged on here, like of both Rhaenyra like about like taking a sip of the drink and Alicent like drinking the drink, and then a picture of Cole, and it was like, no wonder this guy's pissed. Nobody wants to
I
have his
did
kid.
see that. I did see that. I did see
something?
that. Yeah. Well, that's why he's
Wow.
salty. No, that's why he's been basically.
Yeah, he's been a different guy. since he's been
No, it's
hanging out
not
with
just
Aegon,
that.
too.
He's been played with by both of these women who he loved, obviously.
He loves it.
Yeah, but he cannot react, right? Because right now he's not. You know, I mean, he's the hand of the king, right? But I mean,
Yeah.
but up at he couldn't really say anything. He had to just.
Well, here's
okay,
the-
yes, ladies.
But he
yes,
doesn't like
Grace, yes,
that.
my
That's what
Grace,
I'm
yeah.
saying. I don't think he likes that
He
part
can't
of
be
it.
the man in the relationship.
Yeah.
It's a different time back then, you know. These
For a
women,
guy who swore a vow of chastity, he's getting laid pretty often.
hey, you know what? If it works, it works. You can't tell if a guy's got laid or not.
Then stop getting salty. Just be grateful. Just be grateful.
You know what? I agree with you, okay? Because obviously you got to be grateful because fuck, it's been 7 years for me.
All right,
Game
moving
over.
on. Bela is speaking to the small council in this next scene. You're on one this episode. I don't know what's going on with you. You're lucky you're on the other side of that screen there, Christina. I'm in the room with this freak right now. So, anyways,
Be careful. It's been 7 years.
Bela is speaking to the small council in this next scene, and they are strategizing what to do against Kristen Cole, realizing that they have to act and that they need someone there to lead them because Rhaenys is not there presently. Sorry, Rhaenyra is not there presently, and Rhaenys basically tries to step up here, saying that she's there, and that's what I'm trying to do is steer this ship or whatever the hell she says, and it's questioned why they are listening to her. And where's their queen? And this is when Corlys angrily walks in, basically telling off the guy who's just like,
he's like, you haven't been named Hand of the Queen. Like, why should we listen to you? And it's like, watch your tongue, bro. Like, you're talking to a princess. Relax.
So Corlys had to roll in and be like, why are you all fighting amongst each other?
Man.
Yeah.
Well, he had to kind of get, he had to make up for what he did.
He calls them out. Yeah. Well, that too.
That's it, right?
But this is their last moment together in this scene, right?
Yeah.
This is kind of sad, in that sense, right?
This is the last time we see them together. Yeah, fuck.
But they basically say, they got to work together in this queen's place to end this conflict, essentially. Like, so, they're trying to be all on the same page because they're all kind of bickering to one another right now. Her council, you know what? She's got a really bad support system thus far, other than Rhaenys, who basically just got taken out this episode. Like, honestly, like, I don't know about, like, she doesn't really, and Daemon, he's being haunted.
I mean, she can hold her own when she's there, but the problem is if you're not there, this is where, you got to be careful.
She doesn't have the infrastructure of the kingdom, though, in King's Landing. Like, she doesn't have any of that. No, it's because they're trying to start something new over on Dragonstone. It's not like they were ready for her to create her own army out of thin air based on what happened, right? That's why.
And the other thing, it's like everyone on her council wants her to attack. Like, they're not seeing, and she says it later, like she just inherit, like, she wants peace. She doesn't want war. Like, if you think, her mentor, her example of whatever, of royalty is her father, and he had like a legacy of peace. So she's not looking to start a war. And especially after this, like, conversation she had with Alicent, she knows it was a misunderstanding. She doesn't want it to go farther. And everyone on her thing is like, no, burn them all, send a dragon, kill them all. Like, it's just kind of like, just simmer down, just relax.
Yeah. She's been trying to be sensible about this, right? Yeah. And she's sticking her neck out to try to get peace.
Everyone around her is just like, beat them, burn them.
In this episode, though, it is evident that she did get in Alicent's head. She did. She successfully has gotten in her head now of like, are we doing the right thing? But then she kind of reels it back again later on. But we'll get to that part. But but she is questioning it, right?
Yeah.
She actually, I forgot to mention that she actually asked the Maester in that last scene after he gave her that stuff, if he had thought, since he had served under the king for so long, if that was what he actually wanted, if he actually changed his mind at the last minute or whatever. And he's like, he was clearly doesn't want to be involved. So he's like, I don't know. I'm sorry. Like,
well, yeah, he never shared that stuff.
That's right.
Me, right?
Yeah.
Like, he played it nice.
Yeah.
Like a grandmaster, but, or maester, whatever you call that shit.
This next scene, he gets some Kristen Cole on the battlefield, asking more people to bend the knee for
his sword
for King Aegon. And basically, after another successful battle, and all those that refuse will be killed. Then he proceeds to kill a lord. Did anybody get his name? Did anybody get this guy's name? Because I didn't
get his name, but I know that he's the father of the guy that went.
Is it Dargland or something like that?
I wrote Dacker. I couldn't hear it. I couldn't hear it.
Something like, I think it was
I don't. I caught the second time I watched the episode that this guy, the guy who Kristen beheaded, was the father of the
That's right.
King's Guard that went with Rhaenyra to
Yeah.
King's Landing.
That's right.
I didn't catch that the first time, but I did the second time.
Same. I did because he's like, "How about my son?" And he asked like later on, or
Yeah.
My
grandson,
son or my father or something. I don't know. He said
father.
something.
How about my father? He goes,
Oh,
My
is it-
father, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Ruben
yeah.
surrendered and was killed. You're right, but the
Yeah,
rest
it would have
of them
been his
surrendered.
father. That guy was old. Yeah, I heard him say Daker, something to the D. Something
That's
that
what I said. I think it's like a Dargland.
I can look it up.
I think it's Dargland or something like that.
Anyways, this guy fucking spits on him, which is hilarious. Like he was like, "You're no
He
king.
goes, you're gonna get yours. You're gonna
yeah.
get yours. In
Yeah,
the
yeah,
end,
or you're no
basically says
knight
it.
or whatever." He
But
spits
what
on
did
him.
he say? He says you're gonna get yours. He said a line too. He said you're gonna get yours in kind or in time. I don't know if I didn't say because it's something.
Either would work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in kind, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, and then stuff. I mean, it's already starting with him because nobody wants his fucking kid. So it's kind of like, there's all these premonitions going on. People, they just know. Like,
Well, I mean, they got to allude to a lot of things that are going to happen
to
because it's
suspect.
already set, right? Yeah, this time. So then King Aegon.
Darkland.
What is it? Sorry,
Darkland.
Darkland.
Lord
Okay.
Gunther Darkland.
Okay, so there you go.
I remember. I thought I heard
Sorry,
Gunther.
I didn't.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I
Gunther
'cause I-
Darkland.
Oh, it is Gunther.
Yeah, I think I heard
Gunther Darkland. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's the head
Oh,
of House Darkland and Lord of Duskendale.
Okay.
Anyways.
Duskendale. Yeah.
Anyways,
okay. It was first
moving on.
like we ever heard of this place. Yeah. They got taken over. So anyway, they had to bend the knee basically, except for that guy. He was like, "Screw you."
He's like, I'm not fighting.
Yeah.
He's the Lord of that place.
Yeah.
He's like,
So
"Up
King
to ye."
Aegon. King Aegon in this next scene, he gives his council a bunch of crap. Great scene. This is a great scene about Daemon basically taking Harrenhal and how after, he made Larys the Lord of Whispers, how basically Larys' strong home was taken from him. He's like, what's that all about? How come you didn't do anything? He doesn't know they don't like him over there.
Bro.
Well, he's like, well, that place is actually more crippled than I. He's like, they don't have the money to fix it.
And I tell it because he's got it. He's got control of it.
Well, no, it's because they don't like him.
Well, he
That's-
says
yeah,
he's
yeah.
got control of the gold. He literally says he's got control
Oh,
of
he
the
did
gold.
say that. Yeah.
So, and that's it. So he's
He's
well
holding them
off,
back.
man.
Yeah.
He's not a little gay. Just because he's a cripple, it doesn't mean he's not smart. There you go. I mean, look at poor little fucking Tyrion in the first thing. He was the smaller. He called
That's
himself the cripple, and look at him, man.
He says that the place
Think
is more crippled than he is. Aemon says Harrenhal can wait, comes up with a new game plan of attack. And he mentions how Cole has been reporting back to him during this time, which Aegon is really pissed off. And he's like, oh, you guys are talking with each other, like leaving me out of the loop. What's going on here? And he starts speaking to him in Valyrian and mentions, well, this is a great scene because like no one else there can understand them. And he's just like, oh, you want to talk to me that way? Like,
Are they understanding him? Because they're not looking
No,
at them.
they're not
but I'm going,
understanding.
It's like they almost like didn't want to look at him at Aegon because they kind of understood it, but I don't know. I mean, I don't
I
think
it was all in the tone. Like you can tell in the tone, the way that Aemond was speaking to Aegon, it was like, okay, like they're having a conversation between.
And there was a gesture of sorts when he's like, oh, you hire all these new idiots as part of your or he says like lick spittles or something like that. He calls them as your King's Guard, right? He's like these insolent whatever lick spittles or whatever he calls them. And so yeah, there is like, you see people talking in another language, you can tell kind of sometimes like
They're talking about you or something. Yeah,
he's looking at badass with the one
eye. But of course, the greatest part about this scene is the fact that Aegon's Valyrian is terrible. Like, so like here's what he says. Hold on, I wrote it down here. He basically said, so Aemon calls him out and asks if he has a better idea, and if he does, to let his council know so that they can vote on it. Basically calling him out about how he doesn't know what he's doing, and he says, "I can have to make a war." With a and he just smiles at him. He's like, "You more." He's like, "Oh yeah, all right."
He just
He's like, anyways, we're gonna go with my plan. You know what I mean? He just
got
tells
up,
them.
and got up and then said, "This is how it's gonna go." And he's so calm too.
So good, such a good
That's
scene.
a good actor. Too.
Yeah, it was like that meme I sent you, Nico. It was like, Aegon is like level 1 Duolingo.
Yeah, that's right. I can make a war. And he's like struggling to like say the words, like he's pausing.
Yeah, right?
Level
You
1
know that,
Duolingo.
right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it was so awesome, man. To see that.
So then
brothers like bickering.
Oh,
like
it was
that at
great,
each other,
especially
yeah.
after what happened. Let's
Yeah.
not forget what happened last episode where he exposed
embarrassed
he
them.
exposed the chicken wing in the pleasure house.
Yeah, with me, man.
Chicken wing body. Anyways,
Yeah, it's pretty. But yeah, no, yeah, he said, yeah, going.
so Harren Hall will he says we'll keep Damon busy, and right now, where Rock's Rest. I didn't get the place's name. Is an easy target.
Rook's
Rest.
Rest. Okay, it's an easy target for that.
Probably a rock,
attack.
but it's Rook. It's probably the same shit.
Yeah, I forgot to put subtitles on for this one because sometimes some of the words
No, but
I can't get.
Where I was watching it, they only had Indonesian and fucking another one.
I didn't have subtitles. I watch on like a recording like from HBO, so I didn't have subtitles.
Lucky you.
Sometimes there's certain words where I can't capture them, right? That's why it's
but it's like like when you play chess, the little castle piece is called a rook.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
That's
because it's all a game, right? It's piece by piece they're moving.
That's right. So great scene. Probably one of my favorite of the episodes. Honestly, obviously, all this stuff that happens at the end is crazy, but like this was a really good scene just to get a one up on him, So, Larys in this next scene, he goes to speak to Allison after she's absent from the morning council and asks why.
He's smart.
He is. He's snooping around. He's reading things.
Smart,
yeah, well, of course he is. He's sneaky. This guy, like that's why he's the master of whispers now, right? So.
You're master of everything.
But if
master of baiting too.
But if you watch him though, he kind of goes over the table. He starts looking at what's on the table. Like his eyes are constantly darting around. He's trying to collect information, even when he's like speaking to her, like and like kind of like you know what I mean, like so nonchalant.
He's very observant.
Yeah,
very, very.
Yeah. I kind of liked that he did that though. It's not like a lot of these other Game of Thrones scenes. But they're just sitting there, just chatting with each other. Like he walks over the table. Yeah. I kind of like that.
I like people like that too, because I like doing that too, because I can close my eyes and I can literally point to certain things afterwards if I remember. Yeah, if I have enough time. Yeah, trust me, it's fun.
She basically blames the death of her husband and that the recent war stuff that has occurred within the last 2 weeks for why she was absent. Well, at first she says she ate too much or something yesterday.
Yeah, she overindulged in the like Lampert pie or something, and he's like, "Oh, it's okay to give in to your indulgences or whatever."
He was talking about her, Kristen.
Look at her feet or something.
I thought he was talking about Kristen and her.
No, he definitely was talking about Kristen, like because it's a double. It's an innuendo, right?
Yeah.
Like
Tundra. Yeah.
Because then that's when he spots the potion, like the.
That's right.
The cup on the table.
This guy's slick.
So and she's also like warming up stones to like make like a hot pack or like a.
See, I didn't realize that. I didn't catch that.
That's what she was doing, and then
she was moving the stones.
I saw her rubber belly, but I didn't
she grabbed some stones out of the fire there, and she put them like in a blanket of some sort.
Yeah, because she's obviously like the maester said, like, let me know if you need something because this could upset the belly. Right. Like they didn't know that it was called cramps because I'm sure that they didn't know that it was a uterus and all of that kind of thing. So that's what's happening with that.
You didn't have a vision or premonition? Never mind. I'm just fucking with you guys.
And then he basically says, like, she hasn't seen herself lately. Mm-hmm. And she says about the death of her husband and the recent war stuff. And then he questions basically why Viserys would have changed his mind and whether or not she doubted his intentions. And then she kind of goes off to like, it seems like she sounds like very defeatist all of a sudden, being like, she says, many people will die, will go to war, whoever will be king. And then, what his intentions will have died with him. She says it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore, which is true. But
Aegon is not going to back down ever now because he's going to think it was him. The way his attitude is, but after this episode, I think it might have changed.
But I think it's also her, even though she had doubts earlier in
Oh.
this episode about what
We're
Allison
talking
said,
it's her.
it's about her, I think, admitting the fact that she's lost control of the situation, which is basically what she said to Allison. She's like, I have no control
Over
over
the
what's
scenario,
happening
gonna happen.
anymore, despite
Well, that's why she was reading books too. She was trying to figure out the history, because the history is
that's
is a
later
big
on when she
important.
goes and grabs. She's trying to grab.
No,
the
and there, and she had the books there because Lara says to her, like, "Oh, I didn't know you had your husband's love for
right.
the histories."
But she goes to grab more later on.
Yes, when she goes to
Yeah,
Aegon's chambers,
That's my fun part.
and that's when he's like, "Oh yeah, I've disposed of them," and she thinks that he threw them out. He's like, "No, I didn't throw them out. I just got rid of them." Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
moved them, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
A lot of little details though, like you can
Kristen-
see you can miss out on though, right? That's why it helped to watch this a couple of times. So then basically back at Harrenhal, Damon is getting haunted again, like Ebenezer Scrooge. You see, this is an interesting part though. He sees himself with an eye patch, which I guess means that he sees Aemond in himself,
yeah, I'm
right?
wondering, yeah,
Because if
it looked cool.
well, we already kind of said this
Yeah,
before
they're
about
kinda the
those
same
two
people,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah, like he's kind of him at a
They
younger
both
age.
want to be the power.
Yeah, and he's both being undermined by their brothers.
Well,
So
his sister in one too.
it's not his sister.
No, it's his,
It's
no,
that's his niece.
his niece. Sorry,
Yeah,
his niece.
yeah,
Why am I
it's
saying
his
sister?
wife.
Yeah, it's his wife. Yeah, that's what's throwing me off. I'm in the middle there. It's throwing. It's everywhere. He's one of the family
It's
members.
the weird family tree, but yes. But yeah, is that what you guys got from that scene too? Like that was what that was symbolism of some sort, I guess, with him seeing himself with the eye patch. Did you guys think that?
I think he was seeing himself.
Yeah,
But
I
it-
just,
It was
I
him
just
with
know.
him at eye patch though. Like, it was like him.
It was with an eye patch, but
It
whether-
looked like an older Aemon essentially, which like I think it was him though with an eye patch.
It was Damon with an eye
Yeah,
patch,
it
That's
was
what I mean,
Damon with the
yeah.
eye
but
patch.
he
yes,
thought
yes.
he thought it was Aemond, like until he turned around and then he saw it was him,
his own face. Yeah,
his
Right.
own face. So that's when
Chasing.
because he thought it was Aemond, like walking the halls of the castle, and then turned around, it was him. I think. Well, I mean, like this doesn't surprise me because I've read things already saying that like they're kind of like parallels of each other, like you said, because they're like they both had brothers that don't respect them. They're the
Right.
more ambitious, like warlike type. I think they've even said like Aemond like looks up to Damon as like like he kind of moves the way he does, like even in
Well, he
battle,
also-
because it's
I think he
like, he
learned
just-
off of him. He learned off of him too, kind of thing, because he knows. He kind of thinks like you can see that he knows what Damon is thinking too, in a sense. Like,
yeah,
where-
because they're one of the same. They're cut from the same cloth, kind of
Yeah.
thing. That's the point. So I
Which
think
we
that's
which we did call out like in earlier
we've
discussions. even
talked
I feel
about
like in
that.
season 1, right? Yeah,
they
so
make him look
that's
like a younger version.
so
of
that's
him.
that's good that they did that. I thought.
yeah.
Um.
But then he enters
was
the
creepy,
kitchen.
eh?
Yeah. Then he speaks to Alice, the witch woman, there, and mentions how it looks
He's a
like
bastard.
this is an interesting talk. This is where I'll give you your moment. Hold on a second. Okay. There's a lot revealed that's in this moment. Let's say she basically starts like talking to him like in riddles almost, she speaks to him and she's like, oh, it looks like you haven't been getting any sleep. And then she mentions that the last maester, and that's basically what her role is there now. Is like, are you a maester? She's like, oh yeah, of some sort. Now I kind of took over when the last one ran off. And she's like,
yeah.
me. He's like, oh, he didn't really like it here or something like that. Like kind of like he's like, clearly, I guess he got haunted off, like he got scared and ran off. Right?
Spooked
But-
out, yeah.
yeah, but this is the way that she kind of said it, right? It's like clearly there's more to that story. He never settled in, is what she said, but then she just like throws out the fact that the place is cursed and how the grove of weirwood trees. There you go, Jay, and the heart trees, specifically, are imbued with the spirits of people that have lived there from prior to them even coming to Harrenhal or something like that, right? So
yeah,
that's-
and then she mentions that even the bed that Damon is sleeping on is
Right.
made up of the heartwood tree bark.
that was
or
interesting.
something.
That was interesting, I thought,
Yeah.
which is why he's hearing the whispers essentially in the middle of the night. So that's kind of interesting. There you go. It all goes
why
back
he
to
is
the trees.
where he is at that moment. It's a trip. It's a trip. Keep going.
And then she
No, I
says
got
she's a barn owl
Yeah, she looked at
trapped
it,
in
just-
this woman's body, and it's just
I
like,
love that part.
all right, cuckoo,
So
cuckoo
I
for Cocoa Puffs. Like,
So I saw a post online that said that Alice at this point
He
is
was
like
making a potion. Did you see the potion
Yeah.
out of the hearts?
well, that's she gives him
It was almost like I thought it was out of hearts. If you were looking at it,
it's like bread. Yeah, it looks like she's got blood or whatever in there for a moment. But
it's
like,
hard to tell.
so she mentions it was mentioned online that she's 400 years old at this point. This woman, yes.
Good.
So she's like the other
hot
witch woman.
for
It's like
4
Well,
hours.
we saw what the
Melisandre.
other one looked like.
Yeah,
Remember? Yeah.
Well, she's in a body. If she just flies off as an owl, that's going to trip me out too.
That's what I read online was that this woman at this point in time is as old as some of the other women that we saw that had this same kind of
Makes
like
sense, but
in
that's
Game of Thrones.
if she is an owl, look, when you said that, it makes sense because she was it's at nighttime, and that's when the owls usually do their thing,
Right.
right? They're hunting, all that stuff.
They're nocturnal.
They are nocturnal. You know,
I
love
what are we gonna say?
no, I'm like, I'm just gonna let Jay just spew out his like theories because I mean he's obviously on some
He's
type
onto
of
something.
track.
He's on another
like-
wavelength.
yeah, man. He needs to drink because you can't lose yourself. What do you say? You can't lose yourself to your sight in that place, is what she's initially saying, right? Because he went,
Oh,
this whole dream sequence he's having here.
it's like demons in the Shining or something right now. Like he's slowly descending into madness, which as a
It's scary.
theme is great. I like that.
Yeah.
But I just don't like that we're having so much of it when he is such a great character in the mix with everything else going on, right? That's why I'm upset by it.
It has to be leading into something.
Of course it's leading into
and
something, but it's just like it's not what I want for this character. This is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah, not
No,
for
it's not.
Damon at this time.
Personal
Like,
preference.
he's gonna get into fighting. He's gonna get into doing that. But honestly, I'll tell you right now, I just don't think what happened is
There you go.
it's gonna happen, right?
Hey, what's going on, Guy H? Gray Area did a video about the owl bit. Is that a YouTube channel
I'll have
or?
to check that out. I don't know.
There you
but,
go.
There you go. See, I want to find out about this thing because there's something gonna happen. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's gonna have to be in some sort of big fight. He's gonna have to. That's the whole thing. And I think, and at the end, to be honest, if I wanted to go right to the end, if I thought about it in my head, because I have never even read the book or anything, but I would say the trees at the end are the only thing that survives all this.
Of course, yeah. So then she mentions, did you come here after quarreling with your wife? Essentially, like you guys got into an argument, and you come here and basically questions the fact that it pisses him off. Basically, what's been going on with his wife, and now he's here. And then she gives him something to basically help him sleep so that he can help win this place for his side. And then it zooms right to the next moment where he's having a conversation.
No, I
Like
thought
he
it
gets
was
transported.
I thought it was lose his place to his site.
I thought he said
He's
side.
losing his sleep to the site.
I thought he said side, like for
No,
your side.
because
He's trying
he
to win the
starts
place.
seeing- he's
Oh,
hallucinating at
okay,
night.
okay.
He's hallucinating.
I
at
thought
night.
she said for your side. See, I
No,
can't. I
because
couldn't
he
hear a
keeps
certain
He
dialogue.
wakes
during
up
this
and
one.
he's in the middle of
Oh,
a fucking
okay.
scene, like he's in the middle of a table.
Okay.
Not
that
tripping,
camera
breaking.
lens was like incredible. That like shot, like it was like the like ring, like
Yeah. Pulled him right back out of it. It was so cool.
And then he basically, next thing
Wakes
you
up at the
know, he's
table.
transported to a conversation with the Blackwoods as requested previously. And he's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Oh, it's William Blackwood or whatever."
But
It's
that's what I
like,
mean.
yeah,
He didn't go to sleep.
what may I do for? It's kind of like the way that JT
Works.
functions throughout day to day when he's sleep deprived. It's basically the same thing because like
Like a
he
dream
doesn't even
sequence.
know how he got here right now to record the episode. Yet here he is. And then later on, I'm gonna have to remind him about something that we talked about
On the show.
on the show here today. Yeah, exactly. Or during his time here. So he can really relate to this scene. That's why he's so like
That's why I'm
locked
so
in,
focused,
guys. Yeah.
man. I'm just locked in on that one. man.
And then he's like, "Yeah, as I've said, sir, this is William Blackwood or whatever." He's like, "Oh, what may I do for you?" He's like, "Sir, you're the one that called me here. Or your grace, you're the one that called me here." And he's like, "I heard you heard you wanted an army." And then he basically says, that he'll help him. He just continues to look confused throughout the whole like conversation.
He was
though.
there in the beginning, the first season. I'm pretty sure that's the same character. When they were, remember when the knights were battling? And
No, I don't recall.
for the just
Last
they were having fun.
episode, we saw Bracken and
Blackwood.
Blackwood fight at the start, I don't remember seeing this character previously, though.
Okay,
Oh,
maybe-
did he show up in King's Landing?
That's
Like
what I'm thinking,
asking
yeah.
for a favor? Is that
Yeah,
what you're
because they
saying?
were saying-
Maybe. I don't know. I can't remember that.
I feel like I seen this character too before. Just maybe
He's
maybe
really
it's-
young. I don't know. He seems just really young.
And then he sees visions of his ex there, and it's actually the woman that's pouring them water, but he thinks he's tripping out again more
Tripping,
so. Yeah,
yeah.
he's tripping. That's the thing.
He's
This whole
seeing
episode,
Lena.
Lena, yeah.
You know, it's probably the mold in that place because everything's leaking and shit. and
probably
he's
what
Oh,
it is.
damp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's probably
Yeah.
breathing mold and he has no idea.
That's actually a good theory, actually. That's your best theory yet, I will say. That's
Because
actually
it's
and
so run down, right?
that's actually
It's
a
like
good
the
theory.
most realistic thing that probably
right.
could exist.
Yeah, realistic.
But
this,
but
this
the
show is
but
not
the
about
fact that there's a
realism.
witch around, yeah, I mean that kind of like
Throws
fight.
everything out.
Yeah,
But
so.
you know what? If you're hallucinating off of mold, breathing it in the spores, yeah, I'm pretty sure you would see things. It would be pretty cool.
Well, again, things are going to get worse for him. He's sleep deprived. You know what I mean? Like it all is going to get worse. It actually, creates issues for you. I don't know if you know this because I
Oh,
know
of
that
course
you're
I know
so,
this.
yeah, I don't know you, the way you go on in your day to day. I don't know if you know this, but,
I do. I know. I don't sleep very much. I'm sleep deprived. I still function.
Then we cut to King Aegon playing with his balls in this next scene. You know, his ball on the table that they put there to let them know that they're there
Yeah,
for the council. Of
Yeah,
course.
you said balls at first. That's why. Yeah, I caught that. You don't think
Purposely.
I caught that? I know. I love it. I loved it. That's why I'm laughing so much.
And
I was like, wait, did I miss a scene? I was like, what?
That would be me. At the
you know
table.
what? It's very
That would be me at
possible.
the table
We
just,
cut to a
you know.
scene in the first season. He's jerking off outside of a window. So it's very possible he's sitting there
Mhm.
playing with his balls in this next scene. But no, he's playing with like the piece
Yes.
that's,
That's
The,
it.
yeah.
He's trying
the
to make
council
Amy-
ball.
See
Yeah.
the lands in the middle.
And then he kind of gets up and he says his whole council bores him because they're just talking about business as usual type stuff. And he gets frustrated and just
So
gets up. and
rude.
leaves. Yeah. And then they continue to talk business in his absence. They're just like, yeah, so about those sheep. Yeah.
Like it was nothing. Yeah, the dragons are getting restless. They got everybody. They need some sheep, man. They need these. You got to feed these.
I
things.
just like how they're just like, he's just like, you bore me. And he gets up like frustrated and leaves. They're like, yeah, so how about those sheep?
I
Mhm.
picture
Well, that just
myself.
shows how insignificant his input is. Like,
Right.
that goes into the next scene, which is like, meh, they
Exactly.
don't listen to me.
Big
And it's
wine
like,
fest. She
Well, I
puts him
probably
in
would've
his
done the same.
place in this scene, though. So Allison, he goes to find her in this next scene, his mother, of course. And this is when they talk about Viserys's personal books there and how could you have thrown away all those years of knowledge? And he-
centuries of knowledge. Yeah.
yeah. And frustrated, he whines to his mom about how no one will listen to him. And he asks, but why? Because I'm a king, right? He's like, just because you wear that crown doesn't mean you know anything.
Tread
Like,
carefully.
yeah, yeah. And this is where she gets
Tread lightly.
very in his face about the fact, you think wearing the crown imbues you with wisdom? He's like, these men are your council and have earned their seats. Like you did not. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
you know
so
how much it took for us to put you
That's
there.
right.
Yeah. She says, she's like, you don't understand the sacrifices that were
Mhm.
made to put you there.
See,
Yeah.
it plays a lot with your head too. That right?
she had to pour herself a stiff drink there before she went into some wine, right? She was just like, and then she's just like, in the hope that you would be half the king your father was, he says. And then I ruled in your father's sickness and in Otto's absence, and you should be seeking our counsel. She drops that on him, like
Straight up.
you should
man.
be
And he was just
kissing
like-
our ass. That's what she's like.
I thought he was
right
going to
now.
have her killed. I thought he was going to say to somebody, but no, man.
And he's like, what would you have me do, mother?
Yeah.
Simply what is needed of you. Nothing.
And
Such
that's
a
what sets the
scathing-
tone for him.
Yeah, this was another great scene, actually.
Yeah.
See, this is the thing. This is stuff I didn't appreciate. I feel like this first half of the episode, the first time around,
Yeah.
but I'm like, oh, that was a deadly scene that
But
I
it,
wish he
it,
said
it sets
down there.
it sets the tone for
Of
how
course.
he's going to act later.
Oh, of
on,
course,
right?
he spirals out.
Yeah, because
He
it's
reacts.
like nobody believes in me. I'm going to have to show them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
unfortunately, it is what it is, right?
Anything else, Christina, about that scene?
No,
You
it was just great. I just love Allison, she laughs at him, she kind of smirks, laughs a little, kind of chuckles to herself while she's pouring herself a glass of wine, just about to rip into him,
And my mom, I think if my
good.
mom watched this, I think she would say, that was like you growing up. It's just she used to have the balls to fucking tell me and put me in my place like that, right? But once you get a little older, it's a little different.
This next scene, we catch up with Kristen Cole's army encampment, and Kristen Cole wants to advance his army, being so close to the action there. And what's his name, Gwen, or what's that guy's brother?
Gwen.
He does not want to, and he basically just overrules him. Yeah, he persists anyway. He's like, he's just tired and over it. It seems like the battle.
You know what I mean? Relax too. These guys need to eat.
He's hungry, bro. Cole, this is the thing. Say what you want. He's a bit whiny. I don't love the character. He's doing a good job out on the battlefield. I'll give him that. I'll give him that much.
He's taking control. He knows how to fight. At least if there's one thing he knows how to do is fight for now.
Usually some of these guys though on this show are all talk. He is not though. He's so far. Yeah, that's what I mean. So I'll give him that. You know, Christina, can you at least give him that with a stupid ass haircut or no?
Fine. I'll forgive the haircut.
That's you know, it kind of the type of, where is he from again? From Bravos or whatever? Dorne, yeah, right. Sorry, I keep saying Bravo. But
yeah, those are more fancy pant type guys. You know what I mean? Well, your boy was from Dorne.
Yeah, but that's what I mean.
Like Pedro Pascal was from Dorne, wasn't he?
The way they fight, they're slick at fighting, right?
Yeah. Maybe wasn't that where Pedro Pascal's character was from? Yeah.
Oberyn.
Yeah.
It's hot little.
It's your boy.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot little. It's
his daughters or whatever they are.
Bastard children or whatever.
Bastard children.
And then with Rhaenyra back, her council gives her an update. Her son Jacaerys there asks where she's been.
Like, excuse me.
Yeah, he really gets up in her face, like she serves them or something here in this scene. Yeah. I don't know what he's on in this. I don't know. He kind of was acting weird in this scene. I thought, like, Jacaerys, her son, yeah.
Well, yeah, he was.
I think he's just worried.
You know what?
He also wants something to prove,
but he's also got to take control.
I think he's going to get himself killed acting like this. To be honest,
I mean that's a little naive. Like, I mean, he's still young. He doesn't probably have the the skill behind him. Like,
I think he's also mad about Aegon. Aemon killing his brother too.
Yeah, he isn't no Aemon.
I think he's mad about that though. Still,
he wants revenge, right? And he's
acting out of emotion.
He's also trying to show off, I think, to Baela too, and all them. And he's just trying to show off in general, man. Like he's trying to show that he's growing hair on his balls. In layman's terms.
Yeah.
Right?
No, you're right. And then he asks where she's been and tells them that, she just basically was done meeting with Alicent. She mentions the fact that with her 80 years of peace that she inherited from her father, she thought that this was the way to go.
But it wasn't.
Well, no, she says, I realized
it was.
Yeah, it was. But she's like, but now she realizes that she either has to claim the throne for herself or die. Like those are her only two options now, because she knew she wasn't getting anywhere with the Alicent thing anymore, or getting peace out of the situation. So she's like, yeah, we have to.
That might change after this.
We have to make a move here. And here's the interesting thing about this scene, though. Then we got Mysaria creeping on them from from the corridor there, or the stairs, or whatever the hell it is.
She's a raven. Well, the other one's an owl.
This is what I was saying. I'm like, I don't trust this lady still in that last episode. And now, like, the fact that she's creeping, I'm like, why is she creeping? Like, why? Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, who is she gathering information for?
She's playing both sides, bro. She wasn't.
She could be very well.
She was doing the same because she was trading secrets. Remember?
Yeah, but she's always done that to her advantage. What do you think, Christina?
To her advantage.
Yeah.
Everything.
I saw, like, at the end of the episode, they had a clip for next episode or coming up kind of thing. Okay. And her and Rhaenyra are speaking about something. So I think Mysaria, she has knowledge of like how these people are and who they are. So I think maybe she's not part of the council. Like, she's not anybody. She should be there. She's the mistress of whispers, so she should be there, but she's not. I think she's going to provide something really useful. I think she is totally team Rhaenyra.
Okay.
I do. I don't think she's as much of a flip-flop as I
hope
she originally.
I hope she is. I'm worried, quite frankly. Like,
I don't know. I think
why they're trying to pose the scene like that. Like, oh, why is she creeping? Because I watch the show enough. Anybody that's creeping and trying to get information like that,
ever since and I'll be honest, because even Leslie had told me this, and I don't like to say she's right, because I don't not like to agree with her, but she knows that already. But the thing is that you cannot trust this fucking show. You have to go your own way and hope for the best. Because if I've learned anything, you know, like I mean, Jess gave it away with me that time. My brother, he said, you know, the thing was gonna die. He gave it away, but then it came back to life. So you can't trust this show. They don't care about us, bro. They care about what's gonna get us excited for the next one.
Yeah, but she does need people in her corner, so I
Obviously.
can also see it going the way Christina has. Is
But
said
you're
here,
also
right?
remembering that you're seeing a lot of disarray between the fucking
Sure.
the whole throne, right? The 7 kingdoms.
If she wanted to
So-
mess them up right now, she totally could,
Yeah.
based off of what the
So, yeah,
information that
because of-
she's
yeah,
gathering.
because of
Yeah,
all the
absolutely.
fucking shit that's going on. You know, everybody's trying to play the piece. Trying to move their next piece because they don't know what's going on. They don't know what side's going to win. I think there's a lot of people that are in some speculation. Whether we see the small folk yet, and I think that might be coming in.
It is.
I
I think
think
next.
coming.
You know
Yeah.
why I think that too is when they introduce Alan
Alan.
today, and
Yeah.
you know you should raise him as you know. With the ending of this, I have a big feeling that's going to play a part with the small folk because he's a small folk right now. He's working with he's on there.
No,
he's doing a lot
I
of
think
the
that's
work.
just going to lead to Corliss actually taking him now, especially after
Well,
what happened with his wife here, well, under his wing in the seas,
But yeah,
like
he's
in the
not-
battle,
but
essentially.
he still can't be heir to the throne. I don't think because he's a bastard,
No.
right? So
No.
it's still got to be and one of the daughters. I know he's worried, but
Well,
Maybe
no,
he's gonna betroth him to Reyna because Reyna was
his other son's wife.
was Luke's betrothed, but now
I
Luke is gone.
Rhaenyra.
So
so they're gonna sleep together.
maybe.
Oh wow, I forgot my family's like that. Never mind. Go on.
So then,
I think I threw Nico off there.
no, I'm just trying to find my place here.
But yeah, no, it's his opening.
But
where
then
things are creepy mysterious.
Jacaerys mentions that that so they basically decide on the fact that they're gonna need dragons and they're gonna have to attack, something that they've been basically saying the last couple of episodes. And Jacaerys is like, I can do it, and then Rhaenyra is like, no, I'll do it. You lack experience. And then Rhaenys is just like, no, I have the biggest. Meleys is the biggest dragon that we have here, and she has lots of experience with this kind of thing under battle. I will go. And she basically just has the final say in this scene, and they kind of cut
it's so
away
weird.
from this.
Yeah, it was so trippy because
Listen.
even though Rhaenyra was there,
Well, she's the queen. They don't want her to fall, like as a result
true,
of this.
because if
That's
they
why
fall, they
it'll be
have
for
it.
nothing. That's what that's why they don't want her to go out.
Yeah.
Right. And I get why she wouldn't want Jacaerys to go out. He doesn't have enough experience with the dragon. Rhaenys is a seasoned vet, right? You know what I
She's
mean?
a
Like
vet,
she's
a trooper too.
she's
man.
been
You can
like, that's
see
what
it.
she said. I've been in battles with the dragon. I'm
Oh,
good. Right.
They love
as
each
we
other,
see.
her and her dragon.
So Rhaenys honestly is a G, man. She went out so like honestly so sick. I love this character. I'm really sad that she's gone. I honestly have liked her the whole time on this show. I've said it. I've said as much on this show. I thought she was always really good. And I always think that she was like going to be an important part about this. And I just got to say, like, she went out like honestly, like swinging. Like she didn't get taken out like some some bitch on this show, like so many people do.
Well,
like she fucking put up a good
These
fight.
women are badass, man. If
Yeah.
I'll say anything, these women back that if this is like like this is just setting like the poor the men just look like a bunch of wusses, man. Really, to be honest with you, compared to these men. Oh,
So then she'll be back. King Aegon sits alone, pissed off, getting drunk, and then storms off in this next scene. He kind of sitting there contemplating,
yeah.
obviously stewing about what's been going. Everything okay?
Yeah, it's all good. Sorry.
No worries.
Oh, I thought I seen you throw something at somebody. Was it? I thought
I
I seen
did.
you- Oh yeah, nice. Did you hit him?
But then basically he storms off, getting pissed about stewing in that what had occurred, obviously.
Yeah.
And Jacaerys in this next scene there attempts to fight for his mom again, like basically says he wants to go fight for his mom again in this next scene. And this is where we have a few scenes happening at the same time.
Yeah, it's gonna get so crazy here.
So basically, this is where she tells him the story of Ice and Fire and Aegon the Conqueror finally, and how that kind of, has gone down in her family. This story that we kind of already previously knew up to this point, but this is the scene where she kind of
funny,
tells him for the first time.
She's putting as she says the Aegon the Conqueror. You seeing fucking Aegon getting suited up.
I have just again today saw the funniest like meme for this one. I didn't share it because I wanted to save it for this one.
Yeah, bring it up.
Hold on, let's see.
Dun, 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 dun. There he goes.
Let me bring this up.
Everything's fucking Zoolander. What's going on, man, over here?
Just the faces that they make these characters, right?
Okay.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like
He's
that.
still got his
Yeah.
head on everything. What
Yeah,
the fuck?
Blue Steel, Le Tigre, whatever the other one is. Yeah. Anyways, that's pretty good. So
I was
yeah,
like, oh, perfect. You know,
well,
it's like,
I heard some other people making fun of this scene too. She's like, now I'm going to tell you the story of Ice and Fire. Come close, son. Like, I mean,
kid.
yeah, you know what I mean?
The
Like,
creepy
it
one.
kind of was a little corny, but like, and it's funny because as the viewers, we already kind of know about it,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like, I felt like people thought this was drawn out. Like, you've waited this long for her to have this scene with him and tell her this story, right? So that happens. And she tells him the story of Ice and Fire and about how it's been foretold that, she'd be the one to unite the realm. But to do so, she must send the dragons to war, that whole thing. Right. Am I forgetting anything else? I think that's about the gist of it, essentially. Right?
and then everything else was, and then she doesn't really get into the actual like song of it. But yeah,
Right.
that's basically like the choice. Like that's what she needs to do because this is what was foretold in Aegon's dream.
Right.
No, you got it right. But like the best part about this was like as she's saying all of this, you're getting cut scenes.
That's
like
right. You're getting Aegon meets with his dragon in this as he's like drunk, and they have like a nice warming, like touching moment where like he kind of like goes up to like give him like a nudge, and obviously,
Drunk, man. It's
well,
like you
no,
go,
but you can
"See?"
tell the
Yeah,
love
yeah.
they have for their dragons,
Yeah.
clearly, right?
And the dragons themselves.
That's
too.
they're
right.
very bonded. They're very bonded.
And then same thing with Rhaenys, because that's before they go into battle, right? You got to be like, I might not see you again, bud. Like, you know what
It's
I mean?
the same.
Like,
It's the same thing with people do with their horses. Like if
That's
you you're bonded with your horse, you'll do the same thing with the horse.
I've
so
seen other people do things.
So you kind of see that spliced in with Rhaenys and seeing what's her name?
Maelys.
Maelys, and then you see him with Sunspire.
Sunfire.
Fire. Yeah, I have them written down.
Oh,
but-
like maybe
Sunfire.
Pontiac
Yeah.
Sunfire.
And you see Kristen Cole advancing his army. You see all that kind of as she's telling him this scene, like where they kind of like put those scenes over it. And then you see Rhaenys with Mysaria. She comes swooping down, shooting flames down at Kristen Cole's army as they're, that the mid attack as they're advancing there, and she goes and starts flaming them and just mowing down a lot of his army during this moment. And then coming from the other end, we see first we see Aemon and this huge ass Vhagar dragon who's
That's like Godzilla eat your heart out, man. This thing was bigger than this made Godzilla look like shit.
That scene when he swoops up and you see people just see him like ascend like over, and there's like a big shadow. It's insane.
Could you imagine him fighting like?
Wait, guys, we're skipping. Like you just.
I know. But wait, the part that he's got, because you see Aemon and Vhagar, and he's telling him not now, right? He's telling him,
yeah,
not now. It's not yet.
I'm just describing how big he was in that scene.
Yeah, we're just trying to say how, because even just lifting his head as he was camouflaged,
well, he's got like that crazy like
extra skin,
turkey gobble.
Yeah,
well, that's good for battle, right?
No, it's bad, I would think, because they can grab off. Oh, because it's extra.
Meat,
yeah. It's like a cat when you scruff them.
It's like pulling
well, that's why the cats dip it. Like that's the extra back fat that they have. Yeah.
It's to give them that little bit of.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, because
cool.
At first I thought that would be bad because they can grab onto it and shred it with their claws, but then it's not going to get to the meat of him.
I didn't
essentially
even know that Aemon was there going to be there like that already, ready for that.
Well, that was his whole idea,
right?
But
they didn't see that he was that he went to even see his dragon. Like he didn't know that until he was there, telling him to calm down.
Well, that was what was so sick, because he sees the other dragon overhead and he gets all like,
he's hungry too.
Yeah,
like that's a big dragon to feed.
Yeah,
right. Think about how many sheep you need to give.
So
for one meal,
that was all really great. Yeah, you're right, Christina. Sorry, jumping ahead, but yeah, this is the scenes essentially. Yeah, but that just the look of the dragon fighting. I mean, finally in this season, or even in the show, you get the dragon fighting here going on, like major dragon fights in this scene, right? The graphics look great too.
Interaction with the people, with people, right? Like not the whole interaction, but how the CGI can make it look like it's so real that it's like, I wish I could have a dragon.
No,
I
it's
feel
true.
like
I'm just
the-
like, yo, I totally ride the shit out of that dragon.
Which
You know,
dragon? Which
that was a
dragon?
weird way to say it, but yes.
Which dragon out of these three would you want, though? That's the question. I actually like.
Ooh.
I
I
like.
like I like
Rhaenys.
Melis. Like Melis, like yeah, Melis is dragon. Rhaenys is dragon. Melis is like probably.
Yes, I
Or
agree.
I like
That's what I
Cyrax too. I like Rhaenyra's dragon.
Yeah, but I think
She's
I mean,
smaller.
Badass
out of the
fucking
ones that
Vhagar.
are in this scene, though, I like Melis too. I think that's the
Yeah.
best one. Vhagar, you got to go with
Yeah,
Vhagar.
Vhagar because he's,
Vag-
he's just a
He's
badass.
no
so
gross.
Vagar's a girl.
I-
You know
but-
Vagar's a girl.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
No, they
Vhagar's a
don't-
girl.
They don't define each other by anything. Okay, it's a they. It's a fucking animal. Leave it alone. Okay, let's not go there.
She lays clutches of eggs.
They all do. They all
No,
lay
they
eggs.
don't.
Yes, they all egg.
They all do. Now this
They're
guy,
lizards.
now this guy
Lizards
knows
lay
all.
eggs.
Now this guy does.
Think about it.
reptiles. yeah,
Reptiles, they
yeah,
lay
yeah.
eggs. Think about it. You think I'm stupid just because I smoke weed? Come on, guys. I keep telling you that. Be ahead of the game. That's how you live your
Vagar's
life.
just like a nasty old, like old dusty, like dragon, but like badass, but just
Look at
dusty.
me. It's like me, man. Like it's dusty. It's like look. It's just seriously. She's beautiful.
So Rhaenys is attacking with Mysteria, shooting flames down Krista Cole's army. We see
Melis. You
Sorry,
keep saying Mysteria.
Syria. I wrote that down. Sorry, Melis. Yeah. There's too
Tongue
many
twisters,
names,
man.
all right?
They-
There's
they
too
are,
many of
and
these
they're tongue
names.
twisters, man. They're not easy names to fucking say or spell or anything.
Mysteria. That's I said her name earlier, so now it's stuck in my head. Yeah,
Yeah, it's the white worm.
I know. So we see, then we see Aemon there, and his huge ass Vhagar hiding in the forest as he watches her fly overhead, and he's getting restless. This is when Aegon comes in with Sunfire, right? That's his name, all right? I said Spire earlier. Him, that's a sick name too, if it was. But anyways, him and Rhaenys then do battle in the sky.
He's like,
Okay,
faster, quickly. He's riding a fucking horse, man.
and this is when Sunfire gets shredded up by
Mhm.
Elise. And
Yes.
this is where she really digs into him with her claws. Like she digs into him pretty good
Yeah.
to the point where he falls down at one point. He's still on the dragon, but the
Comes to
dragon
the
gets
ground,
felled for a bit. And then he kind of she swoops back up,
What's
right?
felt for a bit.
Yeah, like she,
Fallen.
yeah. Felled.
Starts
And then the
free fall.
blood like splatters like on the
See that?
army.
Did you see all that blood come out? And they actually,
Yeah.
if you listen to it, it actually sounds like you can hear the fucking
So-
blood.
So
pouring.
is their blood not acidic? I thought that was the case with some of them, or am I just imagining that? Or am I thinking of something
Oh.
else?
I never
thought
heard
it
that.
was.
I don't know.
Their stomach acid or something. That's
I thought for whatever reason I thought it was. Here's
No.
something that I saw on the internet that never occurred to me. They're like, how come Daenerys could be protected by fire, but the rest of them aren't, and they're Targaryens? Did they ever discuss that? Because she was able to walk through fire, but these guys, if they get hit by the fire, it affects them.
But remember when Lena blew when she was alive and she was on Vhagar, and her and Daemon were flying around. She blew fire and Daemon flew through it and was unscathed.
Oh, their blood is hot. Yeah, okay.
warm blooded.
Yeah.
I think that's but yeah.
That's what I'm
'Cause
thinking.
I
of
heard them
then, 'cause-
yell like when the blood was pouring down. You
Well,
can hear
that's
them
what
yell.
I thought the blood was painful. That's why I thought, was it acidic? I couldn't remember what it was about, but that makes sense because they're cooking in there, right?
Yeah,
Like
oh,
their
It's
blood
hot.
would be running hot. Yeah, that
Well,
makes
also,
sense.
you just got dumped. It's like getting dumped like a bucket of water, right? I mean, it's bigger than a bucket of water, but you're just getting dumped on. Like,
I know you can hear them screaming, like you can hear them. So something was affected, and there was something that we didn't see, like at that part.
if
right?
dragons were flying through the sky and was gonna come crashing down on me, I'd be screaming too. Like, just
Be
point
just, like,
blank.
staring and looking at
I'd-
it. Oh,
I'd
man,
be
I would be like,
screaming.
"Hey, what a way to go out, man. See you later.
What a way
Trust
to
me,
go
man.
out. What a time to be alive.
Uh-huh,
We're
straight up,
dragons.
dragons in the sky, man. Like seriously, man. What is there a better way to go, man? Like seriously.
I mean, if I felt my death off of a dragon, then yeah. I mean, if I went out like Rhaenys, then
You're
I wouldn't be.
badass,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd be pretty sick.
Yeah.
Be like sick. I'd be open armed, like falling through the sky.
Yeah,
too,
I
you
mean,
know?
that's just the
Sure.
only thing that sucked about that moment was the look of defeat. You know what I mean? It was otherwise,
Yeah.
it was just like, it was like a nice way to go out. I thought.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
Anyways, Then Aemon appears to be that he comes to the rescue. Aegon's yelling out, "Oh, thank God, thank the Lord, you're here!"
Well,
whatever,
he's
you
like,
know,
'cause
whatever.
he was wondering where Aemon was. They did the call,
Right.
right? They did the
and only for him to get Dracarys up as he shoots. He yells Dracarys, and he has him in his sights. And that's why he shouldn't have made fun of him last episode, but it finally came to bite him in the ass. We called that something was going to happen last episode.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
the fire
the
shoots
brotherly love
directly
is not there.
directly at him, not even aimed at Rhaenys whatsoever as he's fighting the other one. And he gets toppled on the dragon.
I'll blame his depth perception because he only had one eye open. You know, we'll blame
his helmet was a little askew.
Yeah, okay.
But I think actually your eyes adjust. After you lose your eye that young, I'm pretty sure it'll adjust the depth perception.
Oh, you're talking about that one. I was talking about Aegon. Never mind.
Oh.
And then he makes him basically fall to Rhaenys' surprise. Like she even has a look on her face like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, what just occurred here? But to her credit, she does not waste 1 second after this, and already she goes off to start fighting Aemon now. As soon as he falls, she kind of just does she tightens her belt or something.
Hooks. You know, even Lewis was like, "Yo, they had harnesses back then." You know,
it makes sense. A horse harness, really. At the end of the day, just bigger.
But she does that. She's
locked.
She digs in. Yeah, she's just
knows she's in for the ride. I think
it's not just that.
This.
No, it's not just that. She's ready to die. Like,
you
know what I mean?
She's ready to go. Yeah.
But she's also this is what she lives for. Like that's her dragon too, right? Like
it's not only that though. I think in the heat of this battle though, she had enough foresight to realize if he fell and let's say, he was dead, okay?
Yeah.
Aemon could just take the throne now in his place.
That's
the
biggest fucking dragon.
Right. So that is like she's just wastes no time. I like how she just straps up and she's like, okay, now I gotta go fight this guy.
Go big
you know
girl,
what I mean? Like it's not like she was like, okay, he's down, I'm out of here. She's just like, okay, I'm in it. Like no running now.
Well,
like,
her and her dragon there, what is the dragon's name again?
Meleys.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fuck up the name, but I have to ask. Yeah, but she looks at her dragon. They give each other a look. Hey, they know it's time.
Yeah, she says attack.
Because I mean, when Aegon's dragon bit her, it was like one little piece, right? Like off her. Took one little horn off to protect.
Yeah,
it did fuck all, man. Like that's the size difference, right? But then when
so then
Eagle's favorite part when the fucking you see thing coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Cole was looking for it. Like, Cole was going, what's going on? Where's Aemon?
Well, that's when Gwyn there gets in his face. He's like, was this your plan this whole time to get him involved? Like the king? He's like, no, I had no idea he was going to be here. Like, I don't know what's going on.
No,
right?
That's because his mother set him off.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and everybody really, the council, his brother. So Rhaenys then and Aemon then do battle essentially, and she gets some good licks in on Vhagar. She does. She gets some good licks in on him. Again, he kind of goes to the ground, and then there's a horrible moment where he ends up, because he's now on the ground, crushing a bunch of their own army as a result of him just
to get started,
stomping around.
Just to get him back up in the air. Imagine the takeoff on that jumbo jet, man.
But that was so horrible. You see like a guy walking and then like that big like
that's what I'm saying. It's
dragon
like
claw.
Godzilla eat your heart out, man. Because I would love to see this version go against the Godzilla version. Like let's see, because the Godzilla can't fly, right? Can he?
No, there's other kaiju that do though. Mothra.
Yeah, okay.
And like things
but
that.
I'm just saying the style, because it's got that almost look of the, it's kind of, they're all based off. It's just so cool, and just to see it. Now that we can see it with the graphics that we can see it with, and the detail that we can see it with, like even with her falling,
it was a good scene.
When she straps in, and you can't do that on any other CGI stuff.
But then when he does fall to the ground there for a moment, and before he amps back up, Rhaenys kind of doubles back, and she's kind of reassessing everything, the damage, what's going on, seeking him out. And this is where, I don't know if this is your interpretation of it, so let me know. This is kind of when Vhagar swoops up on them from behind a castle unexpectedly. It seems like he kind of
this way, like he was
but she starts to go over the castle, and then all of a sudden he kind of like
because it's on the shoreline.
Yeah,
that's like that's a Vhagar classic. That's what the Vhagar did to Lucerys. Like it's like a classic. It's kind of like maybe her claim to fame. Like she's so big, so you think that you'd be able to see her everywhere, but
Right.
it's like she's also very swift and very cunning. There's a reason why she's like thousands of years old and has survived. Like
Well,
she's
I
got
think
an intuition, like she knows where to go and she knows exactly what part of a dragon to go for. Like she goes for the neck because
Yeah,
you
it's a real
cut him
fighter.
off at the head. Like
Yeah, he
you
finds
know,
that pocket and just gets in there.
But
Yeah.
and her mouth, her
Well,
mouth was so big.
once
she's
she
so
locked
big.
on, it was
That's
over.
it.
It was
Yeah, that's it.
over
Like-
because, and then like at first I thought like she took the whole head off, but it looks like she
It
just
was
basically
burning through.
yeah, but she basically just like once she severs the head though, it's over after that, and that's when he drops, right? Or she drops.
I think she was choked. If anything, she
It
had
looks like she snapped the neck almost. or
Yeah,
something.
she like it. She
stopped breathing.
basically just like
you
cracked
could
the
stop-
neck. Like it's done.
You can hear it too. She stopped breathing. Like that was it.
Yeah.
Looked back at thing and stopped, and then they just
You know, which was sad. And then we get the sad drop of Rhaenys to her death. And like you said, she kind of just like has like this blank
she's
look on
holding
her
on.
face.
Yeah, But
Yeah.
she's going out like a trooper, man.
No, she went out like a G. I
But we
love
didn't see her actually die. Her body. We
No,
haven't seen her
she's
body,
dead,
so we don't know,
bro.
man.
She's dead. She's dead.
It's funny how these dragons just blow up when they hit the ground. Did you notice
Well,
that?
yeah, the dragon fire.
Yeah, it just blows up. It's like fucking, you know.
Yeah.
But man, that was sad. But she tried, you know, and that's what I mean. Like
Great
between
death.
Aegon's-
Honestly, like in terms of like deaths on this show,
Yeah.
like that's up there for me. I'm being honest. Like she
Yeah.
went out like with such like grace still, in my opinion, and like the fact that she went out down swinging
and
like
nobody
she
seen
did.
it.
Yeah, but like again, like we didn't get dragon deaths like that, like in with
No.
Daenerys, right? So like the fact that we got that,
And when
here-
we did have a dragon death with Daenerys, it was
you hated them, I remember. What was that stupid arrow or the bolts? where
no.
they got
So
them?
okay, that was that. But
Scorpion.
Viserion, the first
with-
one,
Oh,
when
yeah.
the Night King like took out Viserion,
Well, that was sick. I don't care what you. I like that. Actually.
that
Yeah.
okay, no, that was incredible. But it was
Right.
just so heartbreaking because it was
Oh,
the
yeah, that
first
was sad.
time that we were like, oh my god, like what is
Die. Yeah.
you
But
know, and
you-
they pulled it out of the freaking ice river. And but then yeah, with Rhaegal, like oh my god, yeah, like
Most
just
dragons, you can clearly see they weren't as big as the ones that.
no.
Of course
Oh
not-
no.
that's what I mean, like,
They were they were still young on
but
that
that's what I
show
mean, like,
too.
Even Sunfire there when she was bite, you can see the size difference from neck when your mouth, and you know what I mean. Like
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah.
between the three, they did a really good job of letting you know that one was bigger than the
But
other.
we also learn now that there's different dragon types too.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Like
So
it's more if that what
It's like having a
it's
Geo
very
Metro,
evident
yeah.
in this show, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna
there's
see-
different dragon species, of course, but the ages also will determine their size. We haven't really talked about it yet, whatever, but apparently there is a dragon that is going to be coming up, whether it's this season or future seasons.
the extra
that-
egg. Is it
Uh,
egg, the fourth egg.
no, this dragon already exists, Vermithor. Apparently, this dragon is bigger or just as big as Vagar,
Wow.
and
Who's
just as
dragon?
mean and ugly, like just
Whose
as mean.
dragon is this?
I think Vermithor is like one of those unclaimed ones. Remember, Damon was talking about there's like a whole bunch that are like wild.
There's a
They don't
cave
have,
thing.
yeah, and they don't have whatever. So I think Vermithor is one of them. And actually, Vermithor might have been the one that he was singing to. Remember when he walked into the cage, or he
Yeah.
walked down into the not the cage, the cave.
Yeah.
and
I
he was
remember.
singing to one.
Yeah.
I think that's the one because remember that one it seemed pretty big and seemed pretty like
Oh,
ugly.
interesting.
yeah.
Interesting.
So I think that one is coming up. I saw something and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about this one. Like because it's
Oh,
unclaimed.
yeah. Guy knows. Yes.
Oh yeah.
The thing I'm wondering is like, so he's got more dragons than they got more dragons than what's it-
Aegon. Yes.
Aegon has more dragons.
No. Rhaenyra does. So
They're
Aegon
on
has, I think,
Dragonstone. They're on Dragonstone.
Yeah,
right
yeah, I
now.
just-
So,
I
like,
always-
they have access to more dragons. That's what
But
she's
the
saying.
problem is we don't know how big they are because at first she said Rhaenyra. Sorry,
No,
what's
but
her
there's
name?
unclaimed ones
so
still.
Vagar is the biggest one
But Meleys was the biggest one that she had.
that she has claimed.
with
Like it
Yeah,
that
yeah,
has a
yeah.
dragon rider.
Okay.
right? Because
But
they have
there's 3 that are unclaimed, like that are like just feral wild dragons that they don't have riders. They're just
that's
out
why
there.
they have to bond with them. That's why some of them don't have dragons still, right? That's why like some of the kids they didn't have dragons. Remember, like, or it took them long to get a dragon
Yeah,
because of the fact they have to bond with
Bond
the
with them.
with the dragons. Yeah.
Or if it doesn't hatch, like they put an egg in their cradle when they're born, but if it doesn't hatch, then like they have to go claim one or find one that they bond with. But yeah, so Rhaenyra has more dragons, like based on the dragon riders in her family. But Aegon has Vhagar, who's the biggest
right now.
so that's why it's like
But
yeah.
he can live for a long time, I think. I guess if they're already living for a long time, right?
So then finally we see Kristen Cole. He rises messed up from the battlefield. He walks up to, I don't know if that was supposed to be Gwyn, but it's like a soldier who's like,
that's what I was
like
wondering,
he
too.
goes and like
No, but
pats him on
Gwyn
it.
said, head for the opening, and they went to the opening as Sting went the other way.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask you. Do you think that's who that was? It seemed like he was just like one of his soldiers because he kind of was just like, hey, let's get going or whatever.
Our king has fallen. He says our king has fallen.
He went going looking for him.
That was sick though. He went and patted him on the shoulder, and he was just all ashes. Yeah, I was like, oh, that was awesome.
Tell me that graphic wasn't crazy.
That was
how
sick.
They set it all up so that it looked like it was good.
Yeah, I knew that. I knew. I thought he was just gonna be dead because anybody who's just standing there like that, I'm like, this guy's dead. But I didn't know he was gonna be Ash. That's what was surprising to me. I thought he was just gonna be like a dead guy standing there. You know what I mean? Wow. That was pretty cool. So that happened. And then this is when he finds and stops Aemond as he takes out his sword. It looks like he was going to go in for the kill. And I thought he was
Aemond.
dead.
I thought Aemond was like just sheathing his sword. I don't think he went.
You think
I think
so?
he was sheathing his sword. I don't think he was going to go kill him.
No, because he sheathed it when he said something to him. He sheathed it.
Right, but he had already like made the action to like swing around. Like he had stopped. Like when the like.
I think he was going for the kill personally.
What with
Aegon, who was on the ground there. He's not dead. You know that, right? I know.
Because I kept pausing it, right?
He's
messed up. I can't see the body.
He's messed up, but he's not dead.
It wasn't showing me the body.
It's too soon for him to be dead. I don't know anything. Like like we said, we've many times we've never watched we haven't read the books. We're trying to avoid spoilers as much as possible.
And there's some big significant differences, by the way, in this episode from the books, but I didn't read into it purposely. But yeah, I did see though he isn't dead.
The body.
I know. I thought he was dead. I freaked out. I thought he was dead. He's not dead.
It's too soon.
By fire, bro. Maybe they can't be. Maybe they like you had said it earlier.
Because he did get hit by the fire. He looked messed up though. There. He's definitely crippled though, or something. Like something's gonna happen. Like
the dragon fell on him too. That's what I mean. So kind of
well,
like he was half burnt.
He definitely fell protecting him. It looks like, but whether or not he's got to be injured still from that fall. He's got to be injured. He's gonna be messed up. Like
I think. What I mean, how do we know the thing's not dead?
All I saw. She's dead.
Rhaenys is dead. That's a fact.
You guys, I don't know. We'll have that. We've never seen the body.
I will say that something that got spoiled for me that I saw somebody because there was
spoiling for me.
There was other people like myself. I'm not gonna lie. I honestly watched this the first time. I thought he was dead. I honestly thought, oh, he's dead. I thought he was done even after this last scene.
That's what I
thought. But then I saw people were saying he's not dead. I'm lying because I guess they've read the book.
Like you have to be online. That's the
thing. Listen. Why did you think he was dead?
I thought he was dead.
He's alive.
I couldn't see the body.
He's definitely messed up though.
I said if they're both dead, then he's got to be dead.
Yeah.
Right? So
I will say that's the only thing that did get spoiled for me because but then like you said too, I rewatched it and you could tell he's still stirring a bit. Like
okay. I don't know.
He's not moving.
I kept pausing it. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's not moving. Like I didn't.
But he's alive.
It was hard to see the body.
I didn't see any movement. I didn't see anything, but I'm just like, it's too soon. Yeah. Like there's too much to go still for him to just die because then it's like, if he just dies, then it's like, what's the point kind of thing? Like, it just doesn't seem, I don't know.
And Kristen Cole freaks out because, like in agony, like, oh no, like where's Aegon?
No! It was Aemond just putting his sword back in because he.
I thought he was going to kill him.
He might have been going to kill him, but because Thing was there, He didn't do it.
That's why. That's what
Yeah.
I think.
And he just
Christina
but he
doesn't
just
think
I think
that,
he just
though.
put it in there because he doesn't want them to know that Eamon did it. I think Eamon doesn't want anybody to know that he did it intentionally because that was an intentional move. He wasn't.
Of course,
you
it
know.
was intentional.
So
Yeah.
he doesn't want. I mean, there's people that are gonna know, like the people in the council and stuff like that, because his mother's gonna know, and they all know that they've all said for Eamon just to wait because the brother's gonna lose control of this. The younger guy,
They've been predicting this. Yeah.
So I'm suspecting that Eamon is just trying to hide it, like he didn't do it, but yeah, he's fucking guilty as charged, man.
Of course.
That's
when he got what he got.
When brothers fight, and you have dragons, it's a little harder.
He got what he got. He deserved that, though.
Oh yeah, he did. He for embarrassing him. I mean, I would expect the same. From my brother, if that was the case, if I made him look like a fool inside somewhere like that, oh yeah, I'd be expected to be dead the next day.
What a scene, though.
It was
honestly great. what a great bunch of scenes, honestly, to end out this episode. And like I said, probably my favorite episode of the season so far. But like Christina, you had said, I agree with you, neck and neck with the first episode. Some of the events that happened towards the end of that were pretty shocking as well. But yeah, good stuff for a halfway mark for the season. If it's only going to be 8 episodes, not bad.
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I'm very hopeful for the rest of it. I'm loving this season so far. Like it can't be perfect all the time, but I love this season so far.
Damn.
You guys are bad, man, because you got me into this, and now I'm the person going, don't tell me to see. I didn't watch the episode.
Yeah, and then you show up to do these shows, and you've watched them 3 times, and then you talk about them for 2 hours.
Half of it I didn't even.
You know what
down,
though?
That's how much I remembered.
I will say, coming here and talking about them has added to my enjoyment of it overall. Though it has been fun.
Well, it gives me a reason to like really delve into it. Like, I mean, I would love it anyways. I'd watch it regardless, but like, it gives me a reason to talk about it. Gives me a reason to really delve into certain things. I like, this is great.
Yeah,
and we've had a lot of people watching and checking us out, and Guy H there, man, putting some comments. I got to check out that owl bit because honestly, that's tripping me out now. Like I don't want to, but I don't want to spoil myself. Like because
be careful. Be careful.
That being said, yeah, you gotta watch out.
I haven't clicked on anything on my Google about anything Game of Thrones ish, so nothing's been popping up in my feed.
Yeah.
Right. So
that being said, any other theories, anything you want to add about this episode, anything about any theories moving forward for the rest of this season?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's I don't know.
See, don't look into it. Don't look into it. Man. See, you gotta watch out. Some people are so invested, though, they don't care. They need to know, right? So I understand the need to want to know these things. And because this has already been all foretold because it's been written in a book, everyone kind of know. Here's the thing.
I won't read the book.
I have a whole printout here of stuff that I was using for some reference for this episode that they break down the differences between the book and what happened, the events in this episode. And I had to gloss over that and not read that part because I was just afraid that something else was going to get ruined. Although I do kind of want to read into it because I want to know what the slight differences and choices that
you got made. 4 more weeks, Nico, 4 more weeks. And then it's but then you don't know because how it depends on where they end this episode or this season. Right. It's like, are they,
if you end up reading the books, that's the thing, because I think Leslie was telling with me because she was like, because she's already read the first book or whatever, like period of the whole thing, like so it's kind of bad, she says, because it kind of gives you certain things, right?
But sometimes the show changes things too, right? Like all shows, there's some things
like Harry Potter. It's like the movies versus the books are different.
Well, there's just some things that work better in the sense of it being a show than it does in the book, right? Because in the book you can kind of spend that time setting some things up that a show can't because it doesn't have as much liberties as as
because the book could drag. If you're doing it like a book, it could drag on,
right?
You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's no pun intended.
But Christina, any theories on your part for the rest of the season? Anything you want to say about this episode?
Honestly, this is a great episode. I don't know. I kind of I don't know too much. I don't know because now I know something from Game of Thrones that was said about this time period.
Yes, I think
right. So it's kind of like I know what's
Yeah.
gonna be. I think I know how it's gonna end, but
There-
it's like I don't know how it's gonna end, and I
Can I
don't.
guess?
Generation.
Can I guess? So I
They
started
kill off
seeing
each other.
I started seeing this clip. It was with Tywin Lannister, and is this the one that you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Joffrey and Marjorie.
Okay, so there's a clip going around that I saw that I started watching and then I
You guys
stopped.
dive too much into
No,
this,
no,
and
but
I
this is
can't.
literally from Game of Thrones that we
Yeah,
should
yeah,
just
yeah.
talked about. There's a scene with Tywin and what's her name? Now I'm thinking of all the House of Dragon characters. The Stark, youngest one. What's her name?
Arya.
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 There's a scene where Arya was trying to pose as like you remember his
The
helper, like
cupbearer.
cupbearer, and she's asking her about history because like about how different rulers over time, and there's a whole discussion that they have when she's referencing different people during this time, different Targaryens and stuff like that, how she liked this Targaryen and how she liked this one.
Really?
Yeah, there's a
Arya
scene.
and Tywin are having this conversation.
Yes, there's a scene where, and it doesn't actually reveal all too much, but it does reveal like, ultimately their end somewhat. Like
Who dies, basically.
not
in
who
that
die, they
sense.
all die.
Yeah,
We
so
know
we
this
agree,
because
yeah.
it's how many years ahead
Yeah.
before that. But it's just interesting getting her perspective on who she thought was a hero to her, or who she deemed was a good warrior over other people, right?
Sure,
So
okay.
there's a scene that Tywin is having with her that I saw floating around that people were referencing now, saying like,
guess-
"Oh my god, like these two talked about these people in Game of Thrones," right? So I kind of saw a bit of it. I thought that was very.
I'm just gonna have to go watch Game of Thrones all over again to make sure I don't miss that scene.
Oh, I know. Why'd you do
Oh,
that?
stay
I got nothing to
tuned.
do right now.
You
There's
might have a show coming at some point, right? We'll see.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the scene with Joffrey and Marjorie when they were in the Sept.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
In the dead.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I mean I know the characters in this
I don't know.
setting.
Oh,
I don't know what they talked about.
okay.
though.
I don't know. Like, so he's talking.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Is it a woman that they talk about on this
Yeah.
show? Yeah, I know that too. I remember that, and I know how it's gonna end for her. I know. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. There's like,
But it's like I don't know which other one is going to be the one to do it.
Or
Which one is
gonna
it?
go the same? Is it gonna end the same?
Yeah, see,
Elsa Stannis. Yeah,
daughter reads this story.
Oh, that's right. She does. Damn. See, I gotta go watch Game of Thrones now.
There
Fuck.
is a discussion about madness of somebody. Let's say,
Yeah.
There's
crazy.
someone goes crazy.
Yeah.
I'll say that. So, see, she doesn't know about that. All right, moving on.
Mad King.
Any theories? Any
Isn't
theories
the Mad
that
King? One of them is there.
no,
That's
I'm gonna
the
leave it at
heiress
that.
is not. He's not.
I'll leave it at that. So who any theories from you on your end other than the tree theories that you usually have? Anything else you want to add about this episode?
I'm sticking with these
You're
tree
good?
theories right now because I love this. I love the fighting dragons. Don't get me wrong. I love that and all that stuff, right? But I'm focused. I am dead focused on Harrenhal right now, man. I am dead fucking focused because Harrenhal's always around, man.
You love that.
I don't even know if it's a real place now from Game of Thrones. Like, is it really there? Is it magical?
No, Harrenhal is in Game of Thrones.
Yes, I know, but is it really there? It's
Of course,
cursed.
it's really.
Or is it fucking with your sight? Come on, think about it. I'm telling
All
you
right.
right now, man.
So I have no other theories. I just want to say this was a great episode. It
It
was
was.
good discussing it with you guys.
I'm gonna go watch it again,
For all you out there though, thank you for
tuning in.
for tuning in, taking part in the chat. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already, everybody. We are doing these shows weekly. We usually have been doing them on Wednesday nights at 9, but if you want to stay up to date, you can hit the notification bell on our videos to be notified of when these shows do go live. We've been doing these episodes live, which is a change of pace just because we did all of Game of Thrones and all of House of the Dragon season 1. We did as pre-recorded episodes because those were old, but now with the new season, we decided that we want to do these live. So you can go back, check our playlists out on our channel. As you can see, we got 87 episodes of this one and counting now with all the Game of Thrones episodes and House of the Dragon episodes so far. And this has been a hell of a lot of fun, these weekly kind of check-ins, overviews of these episodes. So you definitely check us back out. We got 4 more episodes to go.
this fucking show, I didn't realize how much it was gonna make. I didn't even. I'm telling you right now, if you have never known, I've never watched Game of Thrones except for that time we did it to record it. So this show got me falling for this fucking
so
love of this.
about a year ago, me and JT started doing this show. He had never seen Game of Thrones before. He had seen House of the Dragon season 1 and got interested in this world. And then we went back and watched Game of Thrones episode by episode. And now here we are with a new season of House of the Dragon. Oh, yeah. Christina's been basically the third co-host and a guest on previous episodes of the Game of Thrones episodes. Let's say around that time, she's been on a bunch
so
of
much
those.
fun.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Awesome. So yeah, thank you to everybody who's tuned in for these. And yeah, definitely check us out next week. And if it's not on a Wednesday, like I said, sometimes it changes depending on schedules or where we're at in the world at the time. We'll have to talk offline about that because there might be some schedule changes there. But we try to do them weekly after the show's air. And like I said, lately it's been on Wednesdays. So definitely like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And yeah, anything else you guys want to add before we wrap up here?
No, I can't wait.
Is it Sunday yet?
Yeah, I know exactly.
I don't even know what day of the week it is, to be honest with you.
There you go. That's a good way to end
Wednesday, right? Yeah. We got half a week. We got half the week still. Don't worry.
All right, everybody. Thank you for tuning in as always, and we'll see you guys next time.
See you next week.
Later.
Bye.